You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Hey there, how are you guys doing? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So what are we looking at today with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? Not the price to get you a Lambo or a Tesla, right? But at the same time, maybe your expectations are a little too high, right? I mean, we did start off the year $3,000, $3,500, right? We're at 9.5. Actually, I think we were 9.6. It's a long ways. I mean, have you heard anything about adoption, right? What's happened with Bitcoin to get the average everyday person involved? I know we've heard a lot of things about governments starting to accept Bitcoin and see it as a financial instrument. I know that we've talked about accredited investors wanting to possibly get in the market and trying to open up on ramps and off ramps for them. But what's really happened towards getting your mom, your brother, right? The cashier down at the Walmart. How do we get them into Bitcoin? How do we get them to download a Wasabi wallet, Samurai wallet on their phone? Because that's real adoption, right? That's when the price is way up there. That's when we really should be looking at the price every single day, because then we're just getting percent after percent after percent of the population of the world getting involved in this decentralized peer-to-peer currency that's eliminating the financial system at hand, right? That oppresses every single one of us. Unless you're part of the 1%, and I don't know what you're doing here listening to me, unless you're looking to see how to keep me down. So that means you're here with me. We're all in the trenches together. We got to fight in this revolution. It's easy, right? They've messed up. They didn't understand what it was at first. They let all these companies like Gemini and Coinbase and WhatsApp and 100 other ones, right? They let them open up so you can get Bitcoin really easy while you're sitting in your laptop. You could probably have some Bitcoin before the end of this video if you really wanted. It's, do you got any extra money, right? That's the next question, is how can I invest in this? I can barely survive paycheck to paycheck. I know if you're here in Florida like me, you're probably looking at no work next week, right? There's a hurricane coming. This week probably cost you a couple extra $100 in gas and fuel and supplies just to make sure that the ones you love are safe. So you see that there's a better system out there. You want to be part of it. You want everyone else to know all about it. But it just seems too big for you, right? You're just one person. You're just one guy sitting there, you know, trying to do the best you can do, but everything's stacked against you. It's hard. It's hard to get up and get moving. You sometimes you don't even know what you're really supposed to be thinking. All right. Do we got some people here in the chat? Yes. Nice. We don't have my co-host, Samantha. She's at the hotel. Hopefully she's going to try to come home tonight. They gave her a room. They wanted her to stay there for the next week straight. I'd be like, are you paying me? It's extra to get me to sleep here, right? Looks like we got Josh. Nice. I'm glad to see you here, buddy. Amazing. My buddy, Paul Rouleau. Awesome. I'm glad that you can make it, my friend. Andy Anderson. I'm grateful to have you here, buddy. All right. I need Test Lambo. All right. Me too. Hello, my friend. Backed incoming. Crypto tax-free movement. Tired of working for the man? I'm tired of the struggle always being real. It's always like when you think you take one step forward, you take two steps back. It seems like there's those small things, right? You know, you make a couple extra payments on something. Yeah, you get an extra couple $100 or something. But never had something great happen where it's like all of a sudden, hey, you know what? You get to take a 6-month vacation. All right. Well, we got a little bit of news today, as always, to try to cover and go over here on Bitcoin and Coffee. Of course, please go ahead, comment in the chat. Let me know what you got going on. Let me know if there's something in particular you want to talk about. Let me know what your thoughts are on these news pieces. As always, there's also a free email help desk. My email is listed down below. There's also a couple links to some other social media platforms that I post to in case something ever happens here on YouTube. Also, if you're, a big advocate of the channel here and a fan and you want to keep an eye on, me and my family and Samantha and all of that here, you can follow us on Twitter in order to keep up to date with what's going on because, hey, that hurricane, it keeps changing course out there. It has people in an uproar and a panic around here. The water is gone from all the stores. You can't get gas anywhere between St. Augustine and Gainesville, which is a good 100-mile stretch. All right, let's see what we got here. I am is here. Nice. Thank you for joining us. All right, Benchin. I have all the voices to tell me what to think. I have lots of voices there too. I tried not to listen to some of them though. Zach, I will be safe. We will be. I actually haven't had any work to do for the last 2 days. So I have been here just preparing. You can see one of the pallets over there, but I've been, it's mostly been locking down the birds. The house is always kind of set. That's why I could talk about it as being like half a compound. I already have a generator that sits hooked up to our power grid. We already have off the grid water collection and stuff like that. And I can do everything to supply this house without being able to have to be tapped in. So, we bought some extra dry goods around here and I packed the freezer down with ice just in case. But besides that, we'll be nice and safe. We're probably a little ways away from the coast. So if it does stay offshore like they're planning, just be some rain. Suckiest part will be, that Samantha will have to work a lot because they're being super busy at the hotel. And then I'll lose work out of the situation. All right, so let me see. What do we got when we get into the news here? Because, of course, we all want to talk about the cryptocurrency, not what's going on in Eugene's life. We got CoinMarketCap making some big changes, right? We're going to be, we've had lots of discussions about this. That's personally why we had on the channel here, I switched over to Coin Paprika. But we know a lot of people use CoinMarketCap. We know that a lot of people like to take CoinMarketCap, scroll down and start looking to see what's going on below the 200s because those are usually going to be the ones that'll get to that Lambo Tesla, as Josh is out there looking for. So we know that that's not really real. We know that the market caps are inflated. We know that the trade volume's washed. We know that whales are doing all kinds of shady stuff in the background. And I mean, just look at Ripple. They got half their supplies locked up. So with this new metrics, they're going to go ahead. They're going to make some standard changes, or they're increasing their standards as they make these changes on the second. The first 100 to 200 coins are all going to have a market cap. So we'll have to look and see how this is going to be, right? I'm personally surprised. I can't wait to see what this new market cap is going to look like. I want to see if it has a big effect on trading, right? Because a lot of people have been talking about the altcoin season and, if it's going to come back. And then slowly the mindset has changed to it's not coming back. And maybe people are waking up to the fact that, Bitcoin is one of the real true decentralized currency. And we need this to take foothold before we can have a secondary technology increasing the productivity of this blockchain financial future we're creating actually get a foothold. But I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I'm just one guy out here. Of course, I'm a fanboy for Bitcoin. As they come out with these new metrics, we're all going to have to see what it does. I've noticed it takes a lot to sway the cryptocurrency markets lately. So I don't know if this is going to be any big of a deal. But we do look at a second part of this where they're going to have another metrics that's going to be rolling out on November 12th is what I got here. So it's a little bit further away, and that's going to have a lot to do with liquidity metrics. So that's going to be a nice one. Liquidity is one of those big things. I mean, hey, it's great to have $1 million worth of a certain cryptocurrency, but if there's nobody out there to buy it, it doesn't really do you all that much good. All right, let's stop back in here with the chat. What do we got? All right. Gambling man, buy crypto with your credit card, cash out just to pay the minimum credit card balance each month. Most people don't let you buy crypto with your credit card anymore. I've been down that avenue. back in my heydays here, trying to figure out this cryptocurrency space. But yeah, a lot of them wanted you to use your debit card. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Oops, typo. Can't be doing that. No. All right. I am for I am. What if a crypto paid more in interest than the monthly credit card minimum payment? I mean, that would be nice. These ideals of being able to create a cryptocurrency blockchain financial market that's different than what we have now, especially ones that are going to start creating a passive form of income. Kudos. I'd love to see it work, but I'm still yet to really see the test model that's up and running and being profitable for a year plus, right? Besides Bitcoin here. I can't believe how trusting the XRP people are when I saw that gigantic mountain of pre-mined tokens hanging over the hopeful buyers. I was so nauseated that I never touched it. The only time I ever bought any XRP was when I was trying to buy some Augur before it actually came out onto the market. I was buying like staked claims to get some as soon as someone else mined it or whatever it was, ICO sold or whatever when it came out. I mean, this was way back in the very beginning of my cryptocurrency stuff. So yeah, I understand. I don't really feel amazing about XRP. But we do got some news on it. I mean, that is my next one here. We got Crypto Bitlords. He's a Twitter personality, I guess. I'm not a big XRP Ripple guy. So I don't know who this is. I don't follow him, let alone I follow a lot of you guys that follow me on Twitter back. And of course, there's a bunch of spammers. Sorry about that. There's a bunch of spammers out there and I follow them back too. So it makes my Twitter feed really hard to actually get any good information out of. Oh, Samantha's messaging. She's letting me know that she's going to be late and I have to do the show alone. Wait till I tell her I'm in the middle of it when she's messaging. So as we see this Bitlord guy, I guess he has 100,000, Twitter followers. He's been petitioning XRP to go ahead and stop the dumping, right? Stop Ripple dumping is what the name of his petition is. It's not really getting any traction, right? Ripple XRapid is a company. Whether or not they're decentralized, whether or not it's going to come after them and all those other things that everybody talks about constantly, whether or not the PNC Bank is partnered with them. That was another one I heard about. These things are all up there. I try not to follow the XRP news too closely, but I thought this one was funny enough to at least talk about it, that he's threatening a fork. Right. He's saying that if they don't stop dumping, this XRP in the next 60 days, that he wants to fork it, that he's going to try to get, his community together and he's going to try to separate off. And he's saying that if you guys are really decentralized, like you say you are, which has been their argument for the SEC, that he's going to split. So, I mean, to me, I guess it just goes to show that Bitcoin always leads the way, right? And that there's these growing pains, ASICs, that's one of them, overcoming your first fork. Whether or not this actually gets off the ground or get traction, I don't know. You can buy Twitter followers on the dark web. I know that just because you got a lot of followers, I mean, I got 2,000 followers on YouTube, but I know that there's only 50 good friends out there watching the video. So numbers lie. We know wash trading. We see those numbers lie to us all the time. Whether or not he could get enough people together to actually be able to do anything about the code, to be able to separate and create another cryptocurrency, have it running long enough, be able to get some exchanges in order to accept it in this day and age, on top of the fact of how everybody already feels about altcoins and cryptocurrencies and, getting involved with the SEC and the regulation that's out there, risky business on whether or not you're going to see any of this. Man, I got a tickle in my throat, apparently. Whether or not you're going to see any of this gain any traction. Where was it? Was it World Crypto Network's video today? They were saying, what do you think of the next, altcoin market or ICO bubble? And personally, I think that if there is another altcoin bubble or ICO thing, me and you aren't going to get to take part in it. we've had our day where regulation isn't suppressing us just because we're not part of the elite and they don't really want us, to make a bunch of money. So they're going to regulate it. That's what we see already, that you have to be a accredited investor, right? That's why I wasn't able to invest in Hydra Hash, or neither were you probably. Anything new coming down the pipeline, regulations are going to stomp us out before it gets to be anything of real value. And that case in itself is going to keep it from being as good as Bitcoin, right? So it does have this first mover advantage that luckily the government's overlooked it for so long, that it is decentralized to where it is now, that they can't stop it out. All right, let's see what happens if we turn back into the chat here. All right. Zach, I am. I did that in 2016. All right, let me see it down. I hope AE rises in the ranks with the new algo. Yeah, that would be nice too, my man. Market cap, them having a market cap, them giving up the information on how much cryptocurrency there is and how it's produced and all of that kind of stuff, which, if I remember right, you are pretty good with your AE. That'll help a lot. So that'll definitely put it up in the top two, in the top 200s. Hopefully, I know that you like them because they are forthcoming with information. They're probably not practicing in wash trading, so that's a big advantage right there, to be able to help boost them up in the rankings. So yes, I hope it works out very well for all of us that are holding altcoins out there. If hopefully we've done our due diligence and we're holding altcoins of value so that they do raise in the market and are stop being, looked at not so fondly, because there is some altcoin out there with a better marketing department, with whales in the background manipulating and pumping and dumping it and creating wash volume and all this other stuff. So people don't get to see yours, so they don't get to see the coin that has the better value. All right. I tried buying Bitcoin with credit card during the 2014 crash. The result is that I was paying the debt down with BTC with $220 each. Great credit card story. Thanks. I was effectively buying BTC for $650 each when the then current price was $220. Never again. Yup. Risky thing to do. Yeah. I mean, besides that, few times in Bitcoin, if you could have timed it just right, the parabolic runs, using the debt-based credit system that makes slaves of all of us, with the 30-year mortgage to pay off the house and the 9 to 5 and the health insurance that takes up a third of my paycheck. Yeah, you're not really going to be able, the best thing I found was, I took a page out of Adam Meister's book and I started misering, right? I started trying to cut back all that extra stuff. And I do think that understanding what cryptocurrency is part of the journey of trying to live a better life, right? There is more, it is more than just finances. It is also, trying to better living, right? Better money management. You can't be wasting on your money on, drinking and drugs and buying frivolous cars and stuff like that. And then at the same time, think that you're investing properly in Bitcoin and, cryptocurrencies and planning for your future, because they're counter, productive of each other. All right. Looks like we closed out the chat. Of course, I'll keep checking back in with it over here. News story to talk about. And then, of course, we'll talk about whatever you got. And then I'll go ahead and start wrapping up this video. Let's see. We got a new sextortion scam out there. I love these things. I think they're funny. I don't know if it's just that I'm not that much of a shy person, or if at the same time it's just like, if you really got some video of me doing something, like, okay, like, I don't know why you guys would want to see it, but hey, go right ahead. But here we go. We got another sextortion scam. They're going around and emailing people claiming to be Chaos CC hacker group. Of course, you don't really know. And in the email that they send you, it says that your computer is infected with a Trojan virus and that it has went, they've used your webcam and they've recorded you. Well, you were on adult pornography sites doing, activities, and that they're going to go ahead and they're going to email this video out to everybody on your contact list unless you send them $700 worth of Bitcoin. And I guess in the title, it says, security notice, someone has access to your system. So I guess that's them letting you know that they supposedly have access to your system. What I thought was the bigger deal here is that, we do these things. We talked about yesterday how we had was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. We had the ATM where they just went and stuck the out of order sign on it with a QR code and nobody fell for it. Well, unfortunately, 3 people have already fallen for this. And they got quite a sum of 0.215 BTC already into this. I mean, I don't know what they were doing in front of their webcams, but $700, I mean, that's more than a week paycheck to me. So, yeah, I'm not going to be giving that up. I'm sorry, you guys will have to watch the video. All right, let's see. What do we got going on over here? Because I think I've seen it moving out of the corner of my eye. Do you worry Bitcoin adoption rate is slower than gaming or Airbnb or Uber or Candy Crush or Angry Birds? Isn't it? It is so frustrating. It is at times. And what I don't know, today I'm having a good day about it, but some days, it's harder. And what I try to tell myself is that it was like how I started off this video. If I'm feeling frustrated with the price of Bitcoin, I have to stop and look in the mirror and say that these are my expectations. Bitcoin has no expectations of being a certain fiat value. Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin is going to do, and that's be the best decentralized currency out there. It's me that's getting worked up into some emotional state based on all of this information that I keep receiving from the news articles and the YouTube videos and my own thoughts and, the price on my checkbook and the hurricanes and, the car payments and the mortgage and all of that. That's what gets me to think that, I need Bitcoin to be this price. Bitcoin to be that price. It's actually about the bigger picture. We don't need a fiat value on Bitcoin unless you're cashing out, right? And if you're cashing out, then that means either you're trying to use it to trade to get more cash because you're a trader, and that's great if you're a trader. I'm not downing you. It's just that's not what I am. So I can only speak from my own personal perspective. And from my personal perspective, I'm buying a key. I'm buying a key that's going to hopefully unlock some financial freedoms in the future. Some financial freedoms that I'm not going to have access to right now in the section that I'm allowed to live in by the powers that be, right? The powers that be will let me only come up so far, only let me do so much. Well, when I go to retire, I don't want to be in this bracket. I don't want to be retired in the same sort of fashion where my father is, where, it's still a struggle. I want to retire in the fashion where I get to do all of those things and enjoy life. That all of this hard work that I do constantly trying to take care of my family and appease all of these people out there in society sticking out their hands saying that I have to have this insurance and I have to pay these electrical bills and I have to have this and I have to have that, to keep them off my back, right? And that I feel like I've done a good enough job that I should get to, travel the world, have a car that runs really good, and have a nice roof on my house so I'm not worried about whether or not the hurricane will blow it off, right? These are all simple things that every living person that has lived and worked a hard life should be entitled to. But they're not necessarily guaranteed to us right now, right? We see people losing their pensions. We see people losing their 401ks. We see recession knocking on the door, supposedly. Well, how are people going to fare on the other side of this? What about people that are getting ready to retire right now? Are they going to have to wait a little longer if the recession comes? Well, Bitcoin doesn't work that way, right? Bitcoin is deflationary. Bitcoin rewards you for saving. Bitcoin, if you start putting away Bitcoin in your 20s, the ideal with Bitcoin is that in your 50s, it's worth a lot more in comparison to the Bitcoin that you put away in your 40s. All right, let's see what do we got over here. All right. I am. All right. Oh, no. I hope they don't know about my Klingon woman fetish. Don't get me wrong. Love crypto. Just want larger adoption, not to get rich, but for a better society. I do too. It's just that I'm only one person, right? And I have reached the end. Like, I'm not the end of my limits, but I'm trying to do what I can do. I got the YouTube video. I talked my wife into getting on board. I try to get my son out here every single time I'm out here doing a solo video, and he doesn't want to do it. I've tried to expand and get out there and pass out Bitcoin flyers. I got out there to 3 different EDM events, passed out a few hundred flyers at each one of them. So that's great. It seems like things have faded off a bit, but hey, I'm going to keep trucking along. I'm going to keep trying. Things come up, things come down. And it's just that Bitcoin will have its day. Like it's not getting killed. It's not going anywhere. It just might take a little something, I guess, in order to get everybody to wake up. It does seem like there could be some financial future unstabilization coming down the road. Maybe that'll help. Maybe people's personal freedoms, when we start seeing all these countries want to switch to some sort of digital cash, right? That people will want to not be tracked, right? They'll realize how much information is involved with digital money, the metadata stuff, right? The little bits of information of who had it, where did it go, who spent it, what time was it, what was your IP address, and what is all of this information when you stick it together in an AI? What can you come up with? Unknown variables, right? All right. Beware of Bitcoin profits. When you send fiat money to a bank account and expect so-called profits in return, it's a silly Ponzi scam. And Kate Winslet talks about in television. There are scams. They are like one of the most prevalent thing that you find out here once you get into the cryptocurrency space. That's one of the main things I talk about on the channel. That's why I have the free help desk. If you're thinking of investing with something and you want a second opinion, shoot me the email. I'll look at the website. I'll tell you it's a scam. I'll tell you why it's a scam. I'll start pointing out the red flags. Sometimes, you just want someone else to tell you it is because you really just want it to be true, right? Times are tough. Things aren't quite the way you want them to be. Extra money never hurt anybody. So it's like, oh yeah, this is everything I've been looking for, right? That's when they get you. But at the same time, that's the biggest red flag of all. Too good to be true. I may not see the full benefits of Bitcoin, but my kids and grandkids will. Yes. I think that sometimes too. Like you were saying, adoption is slow. It seems like at first I did have this idea that adoption was going to take a long time, and that I never really was needed to do more than just buy, $5-10 every couple of weeks. And, by the time I'm an old man, then we had the big boom, right? And that really ramped up what I thought I could get out of all this, I guess. And the bear market brought me back to some realistic expectations. And now it's back to the situation of, hopefully I'll get to retire on it and give Samantha, better existence than what we have now, some more freedoms. And if not, hopefully, Eugene won't have to struggle so much. Hopefully he'll be able to afford the extra vacation and the boat and things like that for him, his wife, and his kids, where, I have to work a lot just in order to, thank Bitcoin for the place that we got now. And I'm saying mortgage instead of rent like it used to be. But, still difficult. All right. Well, man. Oh, we've been out here a half hour. Battery's starting to get a little low. All right. Sorry, I arranged for a low BTC price since my house is about to close. I may have to buy some more Bitcoin, maybe 100K worth. you know what? If that is the case, my man, I hope it goes lower. I hope we do see that crazy low 6.5 or something right as your house sells, man. I wish the best for you, and I would love to see you be able to purchase $100,000 worth of Bitcoin at an extremely low price, and then within the next 2 weeks, us get back up there to that 13K, because we all know that Bitcoin is going to go upwards and onwards. You can't factor in the halvening already with Bitcoin. There's too much speculation on the price. Mining hash rates at an all-time high. I mean, yes, looking like there's a slight problem with Lightning Network, but there's a patch. They're working it out. This is what development is. Less than 1.5% of the population is in Bitcoin. I mean, we got a long ways to go. And it does seem like as we're looking at 9.5, and it's starting to really look like that. It looks like we may have, we were saying 4 or 5. Well, now I want to say 7.10, just a little bit longer, but hey, we're still going to get there. It just means we get the ability to accumulate a little bit more, right? And of course, like I say, extra bags so that we can unload 10, 15% somewhere along the way, help pay a few of those bills. All right, let's see. What else we got going on over here? Good for you, Vention. Thanks, brother. Always, my man, always. I want the best for everybody. Like, I don't want to get one up on someone. I just want mine to be all right. I want my glass to be half full, and I want your glass to be half full. And if for some reason I got to do something, or I can do something to help you get your glass half full, then that's how life should be. Everybody should get their glass half full. And if you can do something to help someone else get their glass half full, then you should help them. I don't really believe in, a few people should have full glasses and everybody else sitting there with a little bit under half a glass, which is kind of more like how it is now. It does seem like there's a lot of things that are put in place already because of the number of people there are on this earth and all of the existence that's happened before we were born, where there are certain criterias and things like that put the restrictions on us, that keep us from living the life that we dream. And I don't necessarily believe it should be like that. I don't think that you should have to go to Alaska to find a frontier. I think that there's frontiers all over the place. And I think with cryptocurrency, this is a digital frontier that's for me to explore. And hopefully I'll get some more people onto it. Hopefully I'll do some great things here with you guys, trying to spread awareness and adoption. So I know, I understand that you're stressing a little bit about adoption and it taking so long. I mean, I've been here 3 years. I've said since the beginning that adoption is the biggest thing. I see that we still got a long ways to go, but hey, all the good fights take a long time. Wonder what the average IQ of a Bitcoin holder. I'm sure it's above average than the rest of the population. That is a good question. I would like to see some sort of study on that. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to definitely be intuitive and capable of reading outside the box. It's that whole, in my mid-20s, I went to Hong Kong and I worked for a company. And one of the main things they told me while I was there is they said that, that there's plenty of workers in China and Hong Kong and all that. But the problem is that they don't think independently. Like, you have to tell them, okay, I need you to pick up that caulk gun and go put caulk on that window. I need you to pick up this fiberglass and wrap that in it. I need you to, whatever the job is, you have to tell them step by step by step. They don't see, oh, this is what needs to be done to make the job happen. Do whatever it takes to get the job done. They say that that's something that Americans have. I think this is something Bitcoin holders have, and Bitcoin investors and people that are into cryptocurrency. They have this. We see the problem, and we're not just going to sit here and accept it. We're going to go out there and either back in the day create these things, the cypherpunks, or like us now, we're going to fight in the revolution by not only taking part in it, but content creating, writing stories, sending transactions, running nodes, running miners, right? Every part of the Bitcoin network is fighting the resistance. Every bit of it. All right, you guys. I'm glad that you could join me for another episode. Like I said, I don't know when the next one's going to be. Looks like we're supposed to start having heavy rain tomorrow, towards the evening. It's supposed to last all the way through till Thursday morning, they're saying. I wouldn't expect a video between then. If we did have power or something, I mean, we're gonna be indoors. I don't think it's gonna go over well. It'd be super loud, but I will try to tweet out to let you guys know, that we're doing well and that everything's a-okay over here at the Forest compound. Besides all that, I look forward to seeing you guys all of this. This is gonna be fun. I love hurricanes. Hopefully there'll be a whole bunch of money for me to make on the other side of all this, cleaning it up, right? You got to look at the positive. Yes, of course, I know hopefully there will be no loss of life. Hopefully everybody that loses property is insured and it'll take care of it. But also, hey, maybe I can make some extra money. Maybe I can get some more Bitcoin. Maybe I can get off to Wakana, right? Pass out some flyers. You never know. All right, you guys. Have a great one. I'll see you later. All right. Keep that BTC safe. Bye.